It's actually happening. Shams Charania has dropped a bombshell trade report in regards to the New York Knicks and their pursuit of Kevin Durant, as things just got very real for the New York Knicks in their pursuit of Kevin Durant, who is going to get traded in the coming weeks. In the coming 2 weeks, that is. And we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. Guys, if you're part of that 74% that's not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. If you're part of that 25% that is, thank you so much for the constant support from Knicks Digest. You guys have been killing it. We're up to 17.2K, and we are on that grind. We got a ton more great videos to come. You guys do not want to miss out on any of it. But let's jump into the video. There is a lot to go over as things have gotten very real, as Shams Charania has revealed that the Kevin Durant trade season has begun. Now, we've already heard reports. Brian Windhorst said that get ready, buckle in. Free agency and the offseason has fully begun. There is going to be noise. And on the same day that Windhorst said that, we've now seen Shams confirm that Kevin Durant is going to get traded in the next 2 weeks off of the Phoenix Suns to one of a few different teams. Now, jumping into the report, Shams revealed that the Phoenix Suns and Kevin Durant's business partner, boardroom CEO Rich Kleiman, have met multiple times over the past week and are sifting through trade scenarios. Teams that have expressed interest in Durant, sources said, mainly feature the Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs, Miami Heat, Minnesota Timberwolves, and the New York Knicks. Several wildcard suitors have also made inquiries on Durant in the past 7 to 10 days. On top of that, we also saw Shams mention that teams around the NBA have been anticipating that Durant would be traded ever since the Suns engaged in talks around the February trade deadline, which passed with the All-Star still in Phoenix. Suns officials and Kleiman will continue to meet on trade conversations, with talks expected to escalate before the NBA draft later this month. And that is how we know that in the next 2 weeks, Kevin Durant is going to find a new home, and one of the teams listed as a suitor is the New York Knicks. The NBA draft this year is on Wednesday, June 25th. That's in exactly 2 weeks from now. Now, outside of it being my 24th birthday, that's also the day that Kevin Durant will get traded by. Once the draft begins, trades seriously get going. We see those draft day trades as things get a little bit more interesting, as teams start to get a little bit desperate in regards to the draft, kind of pressuring people. And Kevin Durant, at the very latest, will be traded then, if not traded before then. There's already been a bunch of trade talks surrounding Durant for months now. This happened over the trade deadline. This has happened before the trade deadline. This has happened after the trade deadline. Now that the offseason's begun, the San Antonio Spurs and Phoenix Suns have talked a whole lot in regards to this whole situation. Devin Vassal's been the main part on the Spurs that is seen to be probably ending up in Phoenix. And as Evan Sadery mentioned, the Spurs are now overwhelming betting favorites to acquire Kevin Durant per DraftKings Sportsbook, as San Antonio is listed as a minus 160 favorite to get Kevin Durant, meaning if to win $100, you would have to bet $160. Meanwhile, in second is the Houston Rockets, where if you bet $100 and he got traded to the Rockets, you would win $600. Just to kind of explain odds in case anyone's wondering, that's what it is. But look, the Knicks are then third at plus 800, with the Timberwolves at plus 850. So obviously, there was 5 teams here, the other one being the Miami Heat, but really there's 4 teams that are in on it. However, the Spurs are the overwhelming favorites to end up landing Durant. Now, that's not necessarily a guarantee, and things change fast in the NBA. And we know that Leon Rose and the New York Knicks are interested in Kevin Durant, there was a lot of talk over the trade deadline, and Shams mentioned this a few weeks back now. On Kevin Durant, I will say this. There is mutual interest between Kevin Durant and the Knicks at the trade deadline. The Knicks made an offer for KD, and on top of that, we also saw Shams mention that once Kevin Durant is traded, he will be eligible to sign a 2-year contract extension on July 6th worth as much as $112 million. But if he was to wait 6 months after the trade, he could sign a 2-year extension up to $124 million. The NBA free agent market resets in the summer of 2026, with cap space teams increasing from just one this offseason, the Brooklyn Nets, to half of the NBA having cap space. So free agency is about to get crazier again, with a bunch of people signing, meaning we'll see Shams absolutely get some interesting trade or instant interesting free agency reveals. Free agency will be back next year as a real thing instead of just trades as well, which is super exciting. NBA free agency has always been an awesome time, but over the past few years, it's kind of went away from that a little bit. There's never been this biggest of names hitting free agency, but that is likely to change based off the cap resetting and CBA stuff, so that'll be cool to see as well. So we'll see how that goes down, but on top of that, what we're also looking at is a situation here where Kevin Durant is going to get traded to one team, and the Knicks very well could be that team. Now, a lot of Knicks fans are split on Kevin Durant. Some of them want him, saying that he's an overwhelming talent who you can't really say no to, and that's an understandable argument. While other Knicks fans have stepped out and said, no, we don't want Kevin Durant. He's aging. He's going to be 37 next season. He's dealt with injuries, and I definitely lean towards the latter, and there's a few intangibles in there, which is why I really lean towards that. I have nothing against Kevin Durant as the player, but he hasn't won anything since he left the Warriors, which is a little bit worrisome, and it would be a lot to trade for Kevin Durant. We already know that. The Knicks are not in as good of a position as a team like the San Antonio Spurs to trade for Durant. But what we do know is that Rich Kleiman is a lifelong Knicks fan who acknowledged that he wanted badly for Kevin Durant to sign with New York in 2019. As we saw, Kevin Durant's agent wanted him to sign with the Knicks more than anything. And it was not just KD's agent. It was his dad, his aunt. They were all trying to pressure him to go to the Knicks and save the New York Knicks and get the money that he would have made from there. Looking back on it, I imagine Kevin Durant would have had some interest in doing that, given at the time the Knicks were still ran like a dumpster fire, and that was certainly an issue. Steve Mills was the president. This was pre-Leon Rose, and if Kevin Durant signed, we never would have gotten Leon Rose, which means the turnaround never would have happened, meaning the Kevin Durant saga likely would have failed anyway. And Kevin Durant obviously said the Knicks were not cool, but Kleiman made him walk that statement back a few years ago, saying, do me a favor, clear something up you said 5 years ago and admit the Knicks are cool. And Kevin Durant correctly said, at the time they weren't. The Knicks weren't cool. But they're a solid, cool brand. Like right now, the people right now, the last few years, they've been playing well. So Kevin Durant did walk back the statement. And look, I know we hated him at the time for saying it. We hated him at the time for going to the Nets after the Knicks were being teased so much. He was right. The Knicks weren't cool. We sucked. We were a terrible team. We came off of a 17-win season, trading Kristaps Porzingis, saying, yeah, well, we're going to get Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Zion Williamson. That's annoying to other teams. I mean, let's be real. It's like, oh, wow, just because you're in New York, you think you guys are owed this or whatever. And, I mean, look, we were sick of losing. It felt like it was a real scenario that could have happened. They went to the Nets, who had better role players and the ability to trade for James Harden, and that did not work out, evidently. However, they still did it. And what happened overall is the New York Knicks have had more success than those Nets teams had, which is not the point of this video, but it's always fun to mention. And on top of that, we just look at Kevin Durant. We look at where his career is at. It feels unlikely that he'd go to the Knicks because the trade packages that you'd have to make for him. I mean, one of them consists of likely being OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, Tyler Kolek, because you need that exact $2.1 million to make it work, with some first-rounders that don't hold the most value for KD. As you see on Fanspo, the Knicks don't win. The Knicks win less games off this. And I know that sometimes I make these trades on Fanspo and people say, oh, you want the Knicks to do this? No, I don't. I don't want the Knicks to do this at all. I'm just being realistic. That's probably what the trade would look like. It's either that or one other option. And I hate this trade because you basically sacrifice all your defense for a full offensive team with three guys who want the ball in their hands a lot. I don't think it would work. Now, speaking of those three guys who want the ball in their hands, you could also trade one of them for Kevin Durant and Karl-Anthony Towns. Or you trade Karl-Anthony Towns at Pacome.ea to make the money work, and you get Kevin Durant back. I also hate that trade. I'd rather Karl-Anthony Towns than Kevin Durant. I mean, screw it. I'd rather OG Anunoby than Kevin Durant, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. I just would. I would. Durant's going to be 37. He's injury prone. The Knicks have a good core that works together. It's just a matter of finding the right coach and getting a better bench. Truly, when you make the Eastern Conference Finals in year one of a project that was going to take a few years to fully get underway, and the Knicks having to figure out that bench situation, and on top of that, just sort of get the right coach for a team that definitely leans offensive instead of defensive like the past few Knicks teams, it's going to take a bit of time. I don't think the Knicks should make a major shakeup at all unless you could trade for Giannis, and by the day, it's looking more and more likely that Giannis is going to stay in Milwaukee over this season, so it becomes very real where I think we just all have to take a good look in the mirror and understand. Last year, yeah, the Knicks made a bunch of blockbuster deals. They traded for Mikal. They traded for Karl-Anthony Towns. They don't have to do that again. I know it's interesting when they do, but they don't have to. And frankly, I don't want them to. I like this core. I believe in them. I think they need an elite shooter off the bench. I think they need a forward who could score the ball, and they need some big man depth. But that's about it. And also you have Ariel Hukporti, so you don't need some super high-level big man depth. I would just like them to add another center who can play defense on the team. Preferably an older veteran who can help mentor Hukporti. And I know Mitchell Robinson could do that as well. I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying I think it would be good to just have another big man. Mitch gets injured a bit. Hukporti doesn't have the healthiest resume. Man's tore his Achilles and his meniscus, so there's that. You should get some sort of veteran big man in there as well, like a Kevon Looney, something like that you can get on the low for cheap and just get some depth to your team. But we will see how all that goes down. Obviously, free agency will be exciting for the Knicks as they fill out this bench unit and are involved in basically every single blockbuster trade that's ever happened in human history. But guys, what do you think is going to go down? Do you want to see Kevin Durant get traded to the Knicks? Do you not? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, guys. Hope you're enjoying the content. I know you don't love the trade videos, but there's news, and it involves the Knicks. So I'm supposed to report the Knicks news. Have a great day, guys. Go Knicks.